This is the Patchulator by Boredbrain, and it's essentially a patch bay for your pedals. I've had Patchulator for a few months now, and I use it to quickly change the order of pedals without having to plug in and plug out and have a big mess of wires. Patchulator has 8 inputs and 8 outputs all around this bad boy, so you can see them here. Comes with 8 of these cables, and it doesn't matter where you start. But basically you follow these lines for the input and the output signals. And let's say you're going in here, you follow this line, the cable, and it can go out to any of the outputs around the Patchulator. So let's just say I want to, I don't know, put it out here. So my signal's going in here and then following around here, and then it follows this line out. So this can get a little confusing depending on how advanced or how complicated you want to make your chain, and how many pedals you want to use, how many instruments you want to use with it. So if everything I just said makes absolutely no sense to you guys, you should probably use your bored brain. I'm going to break everything down, simplify some stuff, so we can really use our bored brain. I know, yeah.
Bored brain joke.
So I'm going to use this to switch the order of reverb and tremolo. And if you guys don't really understand why pedal order matters, hopefully this will help show why it does matter. This is the input and this is the output. So we're going from the input into the tremolo, and from the tremolo back into Patchulator, and from the tremolo into the reverb, and the reverb back into Patchulator, and then from the reverb into the output. So now the tremolo is first and the reverb is second. The tremolo cuts the harp signal in and out, and reverb is added after that. So now to switch the order, you just have to switch a few cables. So now the reverb is added to the harp, and the tremolo cuts everything, including the reverb and the harp signal. Since there are so many inputs and outputs on the Patchulator, you can use more than one instrument with it at the same time. So I'm going to be patching my Gameboy into the Patchulator, and I'm going to be sending it into Blooper and looping some of that. And then I'll be patching my kalimba into Blooper, and I'll be adding a loop with the kalimba into Blooper too, using the Patchulator.
So what this means is you can share a pedal board with a bandmate with Patchulator at the center, and kind of in between songs, let's say you use the same pedal each in a different song, you can kind of patch in between. So you don't have to buy 2 of the same pedal. You can kind of have this one board that it's a really specific situation, but
Saves money,
it's
though.
cool that it's possible. Like, you don't need, if you're a guitarist and one song uses a microcosm and the other guitarist uses it in another song, you don't need to buy two microcosms. You buy a patchulator at the center and you just kind of patch and you share a big board. It gets super convoluted and complicated, but
Nah, that's easy. When I do a video game cover on Harp, I don't automatically know what pedals I'm going to use for it. So I lay them all out and I can easily just patch them into Patchulator and change up the order of the pedals depending on how they sound. So I can use Patchulator to figure out what pedals I'm going to be using for that cover and also what order the pedals go in. So in the next clip, I'm going to be using 4 effects pedals, and if there's an X through them, it means they're not in the chain right now. And the numbers mean the order in which the pedals are being patched in to Patchulator. So now there's a bit of a different setup going on. As you guys might know, my harp has 4 outputs. Right now I'll be using the bass pickup into Patchulator, and I'll also be using the soundboard pickup into Patchulator. And we're gonna play around with the order of the pedals, the signal chain, and we're just gonna have some fun and discover new sounds. And it's gonna get a little bit complicated, but we're here to help you. We're gonna walk you through this. I know this thing gets a little bit complicated at times, so leave a comment if you want to pick my board brain about how the Patchulator works.
boo.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope this video was helpful in some way. It looks like a scary device, but it's actually super helpful and pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it.